Good morning and welcome. It is now June 16th, the day after Father's Day. I hope you all had a lovely Father's Day. I hope you're with your dad. I miss my dad. Fathers are an important part of the family, and we're here to talk about an entity, a government entity, a federal entity called the Child Protection Services, what I call them, CPS for short. Now, you've joined me, my live podcast, my live stream to fight CPS, and I'm your host, Bob Pace. We need to hang on to our children. Our family is the most important thing that we have going, and all of you are here because of the tragedy of your child being taken from you, and you do not know what to do. It is a tragic experience when the child protection system, the CPS in the area, takes your children, breaks the family apart, and then you find out because you don't have an attorney that, you're going to have to accept their court-appointed attorney, and that is hard. That's a hard reality that sets in. I'm on twice a day, every day of the week. That's 14 live streams that I do. And I know that most of you are dealing with a very bad tragedy. I call it a tragedy when they try to take your child from you. So no fault of your own. Now that you've found this room, and I'm glad you did, you'll find me every day of the week. I never miss the time. I'm usually on at 10 o'clock sharp, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekend, I'm on 8 o'clock in the morning. Then every night of the week, I'm on at 7 p.m. Now, those are 1 hour live streams, and the times I give you are the West Coast and California. It's Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it's 3 hours ahead of me, and so forth, all the different time zones. But I've been doing this now for 20 months, and I've not forgotten one show. And I'm really on here on this live stream to help you all. The reason why I want to help you is that you're troubled with an agency that troubled me. Unfortunately, it happened to me at a later time frame of my life. It happened to me in 2010, and I've been fighting him for 15 years. I have a lot of valuable experience of how to fight CPS. Not all CPS entities are your friend. Not all CPS. Once, let me get my phone here. Let me see here. I'm using my old computer, which surprises me. Maybe you let it rest for a while. It'll work. My son's computer, by the way, has been some issues with it lately. I don't know what is wrong. And this morning I had a difficult time trying to get on this morning. I actually had tried to get on at a quarter till the hour. So I grabbed my old computer and put it in, and sure enough, it's working. It looks like it's working. The shirt I'm wearing is really hard to adjust the tie. But anyway, I see we have somebody in the room that is new. Hello, Sini Griever. What if my daughter that was adopted is turning 18? How can I find her? That's a good question. That's a good question, because once your daughter turns 18, unless she's a special needs child, she's free to go from CPS. She does not know that. And one of the first things she should do is she should purge her records as a foster youth, meaning she needs to have CPS completely out of her life. And it takes a lawyer to do so. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when she grows to an adult and has other children, CPS will continue to haunt her. They'll continue to follow. And I recommend that strongly. And you being the mother, I know that you wanted to see her. Yeah, Sydney Griever. I have no idea where you're from. Let me put down how we do. I seem to be countering a lot of lag. But if we're going to text a message in this room, please follow this format. Now, Sydney, I got your name in there, but let me put it up there. There we go. Whoops, I tried to get it up there. Yeah. When you text a message, it's in the form of a comment or a question. It should pertain to CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and a country. Now, when I say country, I have 22 countries, with the United States as 23 countries that have communicated to me on my live stream. Now, they're from all over the place. They're from Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, the Middle East with Saudi Arabia and Libya, Africa with Liberia and Sudan and Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and South Africa. Then north to Europe, United Kingdom, Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond is North America. I have Canada and the USA, and all 50 states have communicated here, including Washington, D.C. Then south of the border, Mexico. And then in South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast is Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, I have New Zealand and I have Australia. Now, it looks like I have internet problems because I'm very slow, and I don't like that. I'm sorry about that. Now, also, for the first time you text a message, should be something from beginning to where you're at. Now, back to our guest in the studio here, Sydney, wherever you're from, because I was going to look it up, how to locate an 18-year-old in your particular state. I don't know what your city or state is. Finding a Pacific individual who was previously in CPS case is now adult is generally not possible due to the confidential laws. However, if the individual is missing or has been harmed, you can contact law enforcement or report a missing person. If you're concerned about child's welfare, you can contact CPS or Child Abuse Hotline. Um, yeah, I think you can do that, but the confidential rule will come into play. Um, I know the FBI might be too. If you're concerned about her safety, you can contact the FBI, but dial 911 to report a missing person. We always choose 911 because it's a public, it's more public. The police or the FBI or even the CPS, you call them, they're not very they're not very good about returning calls or helping out or anything like that. So I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that. So if you give me a Pacific city or your state, maybe I can find it better there. Um, Hello, Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger is called Cassandra, and I'm glad you're checking in to tell me you're all right. She is from New York. She's in the county of Ostanego. She has a 13-year-old boy that has been kidnapped, and she has no idea how he's doing. Um, the agency has been really rough on her. Now, Tony says the paperwork submitted into court lawyers, papers to leave my case, finally in Albany Region Office Law, called me back a phone call appointment at 3 today on the bus leaving Coopertown heading to my counseling. Well, I'm glad. I'm so sorry. Your means of transportation is very limited. Now back to Sydney. The question you're asking me, you can also hire a private eye. I don't know if you've all seen Magnum, the two versions of Magnum. But that's the kind of private eye you need, somebody that will concern and help find your child, your 18-year-old. Hopefully, she'll contact you, but most likely they don't. Sad to say, one of my child, or actually two of my children, I don't have touch with them. Well, I could really say a bunch of them because my case was really messed up. I have a family of 6 children, 3 young ones and 3 older ones. The 3 older ones are doing fine. They're in families of their own, and they seem to be doing okay. I kind of know bits of information, what they're doing and where they're at. But ever since we've had a CPS case, they've chose not to participate with us. Then I have my firstborn, who was taken from me at 3, and my first wife was adamant that I'd never see my daughter again. And so she's hidden my daughter. She's hidden my daughter. I've written endless letters to her, no response. I have tried to talk to her and left messages at her schools and stuff, but I never hear anything. I've not seen her since she's 3 years of age. I know about where she lives. Now, my 2 boys, young boys, are still living with me, but my youngest of my 3 girls is now 22, but she was taken me by the social worker who said to us parents, "You'll never see your daughter again." What's so cruel about individuals, my first wife and the social worker, is that they can't even think about that at all. Because children need both parents. The biological parents are the best parents to raise them. So, with that being said, parents should see your children. Now, I don't know what happened to my background. There we go. This lag is really something. I don't know if you hear me okay, Sydney, but I'm trying to find out where you're at. And thank you, Tony, for keeping me going here. Now, besides texting me a message, you can also be a guest on my live stream. I'd love to have you as my guest. Please email me or email my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. And she will get you in touch with giving you a link. The link will be StreamYard, is the application I use to broadcast on YouTube. It'll take you to my live stream, and then you could be one of 10 people. I can have 9 guests, and myself makes 10 at one time on the live stream. So to be on the live stream, she'll give you a link, you put it in. Also explain to you about some basic rules like no profanity, no use of names of children, judges, or social workers, and no eating or smoking on the live stream. Now, there's only 14 shows you got to pick. You just say you want to be on Bob's Sunday morning show, a Bob's Friday night show. That's all you have to do. I'd love to have you as my guest. Now, the third way is to call me at 626 698 0990. That will be a live phone call on the live stream. And I'd love to hear from you. We have a room this morning. I love the emojis too that people give me. Thank you, Cindy Griever. That was awful sweet of you. I want to help you. I care about every one of you. As Tony will tell you, I do care. I'm a loving husband and a father. I have 42 years of marriage, and I have raised 6 children. Unfortunately, CPS has taken away my forever home, has destroyed my credibility to work in the workplace, has taken away my youngest of 3 daughters, and has done nothing more than to brutally lie. And even when they're caught in their light, when they committed perjury, I could file a lawsuit, but I'm financially drained because I had to hire an attorney and it took all my money. I had to sell my forever home. That's why I lost it. At age 60, when I lost my job through no fault of my own, I have had a difficult time. I've had success on several jobs, but they run out of work because they find out how old I am. They think that someone who's 75 years old can't do a job. Well, we got the President of the United States who just turned 79. He is very active president. He talks to us. He is in the plane. He is a world leader. He is also very heavily involved in domestic matters. He shows up at all kinds of events. Yes, he's outspoken. Yes, he's fulfilling his campaign promises because the majority of you American have elected him. So don't complain when he's trying to make government more efficient by Doge, or he's sending back over the 22 million people that have crossed our borders in the last 4 years because we had open borders. I'm talking about 22 million people in the United States that are not U.S. citizens. They don't speak English, and a lot of them commit crime. It's just like CPS. They're very corrupt, but not all of them are. I know of the 22 million Americans are not corrupt, but they should have made an effort to become a U.S. citizen. It's wrong to sit in our country for 4 years and not try to become a U.S. citizen. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace, and who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
belated Father's Day yesterday. It was so cute. Your family was there, and you were all just like, oh, I'm trying to talk. But anyways, I thought it was cute seeing your. Anyways, but so this Christina, and I've been helping Felicia, but I'm just concerned about Dorothy because I'm trying to help her, and maybe she doesn't believe me or something, but there's no response, and I'm just wondering if she's okay.
Yeah, I wondered too. I haven't seen Dorothy. You're talking about Dorothy Cook in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that you talked about. So
yeah.
just keep that in mind because you know what I did, what I can do. So
Yes, I
just let her
do.
know that
Yes,
I'm
I
not.
do.
Yeah, just let her know I'm not just bugging. I can help her.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I can help her. Okay, just say that.
Right. All right. I will if
Okay.
I see her. As I say,
Yeah.
she hasn't been. I remember I saw a comment the other day, maybe it was 2 days ago. But what's new in your world, Christina? What's new in your world?
Oh gosh, there's so much. So just today, I just sent something for my daughter that shows she's a victim, not a criminal. So that's a good thing. I got Andrew's stuff ready, his lawsuit or stuff ready for Gabe Vasquez. That's good. They'll just have to call the Department of Justice, and they'll know that little boy who was so brave in 1994 and told the truth and were ignored. I got that together. But the main thing is my son Brad. He came home a few days ago from being in the hospital, and when he came home, he was just. I was like, "What is he doing? This is crazy." He barely slept last night. So I did some cross referencing and it comes down to it. I already emailed his attorney 4 times today, but they gave him an injection, which they've been giving him to him for years, and 2 medications that I said, not that pill, not that pill. And I knew it caused something weird. But yeah, all of them were poison to him. He's not supposed to have any of that medication because of his chororia. And so when it shows meth in his system, it's because that's what it's doing to him. He has HD chororia, and it's making him like he's on meth. So they got my kid so high, and I had to run around and trying to protect him. He was just dropping in the middle of the road doing push-ups, like because he already has involuntary hand and leg movement. But so that's all. But I just been busy, Bob.
Yeah, I know you have, Christina, and I thank you for everything you're doing. I think if I get my new computer when they bring the prices back down, my computer that I want to buy now costs twice as much. And it's really sad because I've saved up the money now for these last couple of months to get a new computer. And now I can't get the computer for my budget. My budget is $2,000, and the computer I want, it is a high end one, but it's I can text you what I'm looking for. But it really
Yeah,
is.
maybe you can
That is the
research
number
and
one
look
thing.
around.
That's the number one thing I need badly because this morning is very frustrating trying to get on. I took almost a half hour. I tried it a quarter of the hour on my son's computer. Now my
Oh my
son's
gosh.
computer is the low end, and uh, this this live stream that I do using the YouTube video by using the SteamYard, it says you got to have a lot of RAM. That's
Oh,
one of the things I have, and a processor that's fast. Now, I used to have an i7 processor, but the i9 processor, 14th generation, is the fastest around right now. Also, going from 8 gigs bytes of RAM to 64 gigabytes RAM would really help. So I'm looking for
sure. I have an
64.
iPad that does that,
Yeah.
Bob. I actually think I have an iPad. But what I'm saying is, you want my daughter to kind of look around and see if she can find one for that budget, just on the
Well,
exit. And also,
I will
no,
text you the brand. It's an Asus, and it's an
yeah.
18
So do
inch.
that.
Yeah, 18-inch
Okay,
screen. So it's a big screen because as you
okay,
get older, your eyes don't see things so
sure,
good. And on a
sure,
laptop,
sure.
the font at
Oh yeah,
6 or 5 is hard. And if I blow it up, then it loops around and you don't see the whole board.
sure.
So
Sure.
I tried to
Okay,
do
so
that, but I've had the
okay,
computer that I wanted. I saw the prices in the 1,700 an 1800 range. In fact, Costco has one that's fairly close, but they don't have exactly what I'm looking for. And if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I just,
please send me. Please send me what you just said, and I will have my daughter help me research. But also, your wife's birthday. Happy birthday! She had a birthday to her, and
yeah, she had a birthday on Saturday, and then she hurt her foot, and then she got sick, and so it carried over to Sunday to Father's Day, and Father's Day was terrible. But I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys. So today is a new day. I always start off as a new day. So that's really good. Okay. By the way, Christina, did you ever work up your differences between Mrs. G and Mr. Davis?
No, I did have an apology for both of them, but I never sent it. I just figured if they can just think I fall off the earth like that, then I was more of a nuisance. So it's just
I don't want to. I mean, I can talk to Mr. Davis because
I was trying to tell him it was all new to me. Like, look, I'm this and I'm that, and not once. Oh, your ancestral grandmother was Princess Montezuma. No acknowledge to that. You connect to Chris. Oh, no acknowledge. It's just like.
Well, the problem is a lot of people have a hard to believe things. It's like when I tell people my great grandmother, right? I told
Bob. No, but on the bottom of what I sent him, it says it's an ancestry. It says blah blah blah. All I need is a notary. I mean, it takes a first grader could read that. So it's just like, no, if I can't even communicate something that I know, like that, then obviously there's a communication barrier. And
they read only the first line. Like that. They only read the first line. Yeah, they only read the first line. That's the problem.
Yeah, so
I know that all the time from dealing with Mr. Davis. I write him things, and he'll come back with a far-fetched thing because they won't read more than what you write. And I have written him very lengthy things about it. For instance, he had a meeting scheduled, and he missed the meeting. And then I tried to describe the person, and I had to go in detail and repeat 3 or 4 times. So there are some pros and cons. He's excellent what he does when he's in court. When he's fighting the case, he knows the law. He will fight it. He knows it well. Mrs. G is somebody that is a paralegal, I guess, or I don't even know if she's a paralegal. She's like me. She has a background in CPS, and she likes to help. And I have helped out immensely, I think, because I've had people purposely come back and say, thank you, Bob, for what you've done, because I know that people have.
Well, something's up because Mr. Davis, Attorney Davis, hasn't even done any more lives. So it has something to do with me. I feel that.
Well, I don't know. Has he stopped his live? Has he stopped his live? I did not know that.
Yeah, so ever since then, and Miss what's her name? I'm sorry, Georgette. No response on nothing, and I broke down with stuff, and 16 schools between the age of 13 or between from when I started school to 16 schools, 13 schools between the age or 8 between the age of 11 and 13, and whatever 13 schools between 11 and 16. I don't know, but it's just insane. And being strangled and not being able to communicate. If someone can't understand that, and if I just, it's just it's what it is. Not everybody just cares. It doesn't. It's just how it is, yo. They're busy, and I get it, and I'm okay now, and I'm glad that I am, and I'm glad that I have Bob. You're there, and the people I'm trying to help. Like Felicia, she still helps. I helped her yesterday, a couple days ago. She has something else for me. So that's what I'll do. But I'm just concerned about Dorothy because I don't want, she was communicating and then she stopped. I don't want her to think that, I'm like, that I'm not trying to help her.
Yeah, understand that. So what is the latest of any CPS matter that you're involved in? What's the latest that you can share?
Is I should send it to you. So I was able to grab some of the stuff that was holding me from going to get Connecticut in the Department of Justice. But the only thing now is there's the first detective interview that is so important, and I've been looking, and so I find other stuff, and then that's how I've been able to do my daughter and my son's thing that says that there was a violation of law and these are victims and you need to protect them and stop criminalizing them, blah, blah. So what's going on is I'm so close to, I'm sending gay dad's kids the kids and stuff just to get Andrew started so he's not trying to take a piece of paper and make a bunch of, get attention in the wrong way. So that, everything's happening so fast. And, actually, but so I'm just expecting a redress of grievance because the Department of Justice said. And so when I was reaching out for Georgia and Attorney Davis, I didn't have the staff that I have. I wasn't able to be my work through this. And so how many days? 14 days, if you do the math, 13 maybe. And I'm like, I can do this all day. And I can help you and I can help her. And so it's like, God, thank you. Like, wow. And I'm an elite and this and that. And wow, okay. Even today, it's like send the attorney off for. I'm like, even the royal whatever. Why? He'll laugh. No, they won't. Send it. It's legit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, okay. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're sharing it with me, Christina. And we've had a new person in the room. I don't know where they're from, called Sydney Griever, and she asked me, "How do you get reconnected with a child who turns 18 that was in adopted or in CPS?" And the problem is the confidential law comes into play that you cannot locate them. You can maybe report them as a missing person and go to 911.
Like to that person, Bob,
but
is I might say before I lose my thought, is one, if you have where you've been hurting all this time, if that person, I think it's a girl, and you've been hurting and grieving, and you got it on document where your rights were violated and it was just unjust and unfair, I can turn it into a grievance where you kind of get back on the bring everything to the table. And another thing, it's really hard when you find them. It's just, be careful, but don't. I just want to say that because if it's a grievance, and because then they might have to reinstate, because I don't know her story and we don't know. But I'm just saying that, okay, Bob?
Yeah, I'm glad you did say that. I'm glad you did say that.
A grievance. 18 years, and you're suffering, and now more suffering because you don't know. If you have family, bring the grievance. Let's, hand it to the people.
Yeah, I agree. I
can do it, Bob. Anyone can. I mean, this how many years later. I mean, you just have to. It hurts, and it destroys relationships and mental. It just. I don't want my kids to be my age and have to win. It's just been bad. 20 years. I'll lose my. I'm just frustrated. I have to be careful. It's just bad, though.
I know.
It's stressful.
I know. It is. It really is. Dealing with this on a daily basis, twice a day, has been really a lot of work, because sometimes I feel like lost for words, because I have to look forward to try to make it different, and that's one of the hardest things to make different. It's the hardest thing.
You need to file your grievance, because 75 years, you're doing great, but for your whole family, and we can even make it bigger. But I know that document that you got, and an Attorney Davis, like, attorney, just sign, help me push this through, please.
Right. I understand that. I appreciate what you've done to help me. You've been tremendous help. And if you can help me with that computer, that's the number one problem I have in my life, is that it's just that I don't know if people are joining the bandwagon. They hear that tariffs are up and they think, oh, we can double our prices. The problem is sometimes people, I hate to say it, when they know that things are on the rise, they take advantage of that. And it's wrong. It's like the eggs, the carton of eggs has been something I've been following for a long time. It has dropped down to $5 a carton, but that's only in the last week. But for the last couple of years,
not the good eggs, though, Bob.
No, I know that.
For the good eggs.
That's not good eggs.
You don't eat the fake chicken eggs. They cost more money.
Well, I know that. I mean,
like
$10 a carton. But gasoline, I think, was dropping, but now I think it's going to go back up because of the Middle East crisis. What's going to happen is that the OPEC countries have an excuse to make money. You see, that's the whole thing. It's all about money, how to make money. And, Somehow I missed
Does
that
it, or
magic
does
thing. So
could some of it be just to control people from not just running around to kind of keep the people sit still? I don't know. Raise it up, then people aren't. There's not so much commotion. People are stuck sitting still. Does that make sense?
yes, it does.
Because you said gas prices.
Yes, it does.
You're not going all the way across the country because gas is so too much.
Yes.
Something like that. Right. So, Bob, I'll let you go, and I just want to reach out to Dorothy. Just let her know if she needs anything that I might hear for her.
Yes.
I don't know her story, so I just know that it was we were supposed to communicate, and I'm just kind of confused.
Yes, understand.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hang up. Okay.
All right, Christina, please keep in touch. Okay.
Yep, I will for sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was a very sweet call from a longtime friend on my family here. She's been a part of my family I know for years. That is Christina Reynoso, who is from Las Vegas, Nevada, who's very kind hearted. She had a really tragic life where she was strangled. She'd been in and out of high schools or schools 16 times. It's ridiculous what she had to endure. But she's taken on to want to help our friend in North Carolina, Dorothy Cook, and Felicia from Ventura, California. Now, Felicia is a very young lady that has a difficult case because she's going to lose her home. Her home that she's lived with her mother. Her mother owns a home. Her mother needed as a caregiver. Her grandmother, her mom's mom, is better in shape. So anyway, thank you, Christina. And Sydney, I say hello to you again. Thank you for the emojis. I've had 3 hearts from Margaret King. Glad to see you around, Margaret. Margaret is from Kern County, California. She's hired Mr. Davis. And thank you, Christina Reynosa. And then Sydney Griever, the new person this morning from wherever she's from. And I want to thank Margaret King and Christina Reynoso for the thumbs up. Thank you. Now, people come and go in here. Sometimes rooms full of people, sometimes not. We have Tony the Tiger on a bus on the way to Albany. I guess she has a conference today, a counseling was there. She is fighting to gain custody of her 13-year-old son that's fed drugs, just like Christina was talking about. There are really bad things that children, that CPS suddenly thinks they're doctors. And I cannot relate more than the family from Santa Clarita 2 weeks ago that called in and were being wrongly accused of medical neglect. And they weren't medical neglect their children. They were trying to find out what was wrong with their child. And the doctor misdiagnosed, and the social worker at the emergency room stepped in and forced the parents to have appendix removed of their 4-month-old daughter. That's a traumatic offense, especially when after the appendix was removed, she still complained of stomach pains. The problem was the medical people did not do a thorough investigation. They did not do x-rays, and where she was saying her pain was on the left side. The appendix is on your right side. The left side is where the gallbladder, and she had gallstones that were blocking the duct, and it was covering excruciating pain. So they removed the appendix at the urgency of the social worker. That is wrong. That is definitely a lawsuit of medical malpractice by the hospital for misdiagnosing it, and also by the CPS system. That is an open-cut case, and you're talking millions of dollars. And so Mr. Davis would be that attorney. And I hope that family gets Mr. Davis to do the lawsuit. They did get an attorney at my help. You see, it took me 4 days with them, but I was able to get an attorney. They showed up in court. The expression on the judge's face at the Monterey court, at the Department of Children and Family Service, the dependency court in LA County, California, was shocking. They said he did not believe they'd get an attorney in 1 day. And I was able to help that family do so. I told the family when they first approached me that they need to talk to the court about a continuance. I told them to ask for a 60 or 90-day continuance. The judge only gave them 1 day, which was Thursday. Then on Friday, they show up with their attorney, and the attorney blasted apart, and the family gets to keep their daughter, and the case will be closed. I don't know what the latest is, but they certainly, CPS is at fault. The hospital's at fault. So you have to be careful of medical trafficking out there. It does exist. Medical trafficking does exist. So be careful. Don't let the social worker take your child or interfere. They got to have a court warrant. They got to have a court warrant. All right, I'm looking for other people to talk in this room. I have now about a couple minutes left of my show time. My show goes to 11 o'clock. I have 2 clocks I work with. One is my live clock that tells me how long I've been on, and then there is the time clock. Again, my shows are on at 10 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, they're on at 8. Furthermore, at night, they're on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Those are the times, the West Coast of California. I'm broadcasting on YouTube using StreamYard application. I have my number up, 626-698-0990. I love to take calls. And so I will send the information, Christina. It's hard for me to text or type when I'm talking on the show. So when you hear a quiet pause, that means I'm busy texting or typing or whatever. Now, I am represented by an attorney named Vincent W. Davis. He's the creator of the live stream. His picture is upper right hand corner. He's a full blown attorney that you should use as one of your 3 quotes. Always get 3 quotes when you're deciding on an attorney. He is one of them that I'm going to give to you. He has 39 years of fighting CPS and gotten back thousands of children. He is also a trial attorney. He can also do civil lawsuits, and he sued CPS and successfully have won millions of dollars, both in state court and federal court. He's the real deal. He's trained and licensed in juvenile law and in family law and dependency law. Those are the 3 areas you need to deal with. You need to understand that the court-appointed attorney, the public defender that you may think you have, will not perform for you. They're hired by CPS, they're controlled by CPS, they're paid by CPS. They're only in the areas of criminal law experience, and they have 30 to 100 cases. They're overloaded. If you can imagine anybody with 100 cases, that's ridiculous. They don't have time. They don't even have time to do your hearing. And so you got to make these attorneys, if you have to use them, work. You need to kick them in the seat of pants and be hard on them. Tell them that they need to defend you, or you will sue them for negligence and report them to the state bar at the capital of your state. Do that. Do that. And if they're not good, you can replace them. All you do is go to the public defender's office in the courthouse, in the courtroom. Every dependency court, there might be 3 or 4, that courthouse will have a public defender's office. And you can request another attorney if they're not performing. Don't let them try to push you around. Don't let them try to push you around. In fact, I want to present you something that is maybe a last resort, but I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. It's DOGE. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. The website is doge.gov, and their phone numbers are at the White House. There are 2 phone numbers. They do work. But if you want to request something, it should be in an email. And there's the email. It's doge@mail.house.gov. That is if you want to complain. They're investigating social services. I know they are, because I was dealing with social services and heard them on the phone. So that is really important, that you have an escape, that when you're fighting these cases. Now, we are getting close to the end of my show. That's why I took my phone number down, because it would be really hard to do a phone call. But I'm going to be on again tonight at 7 p.m. That is Pacific Standard Time for an hour. Thank you, Christina. They did email you back. I'm so glad. Now, we're here to help one another. And this room, I really appreciate. Oh, Doge did. See? Doge will work. You know, in fact, if you want a job, they're offering career jobs, not hourly jobs, career jobs at Doge. They have the background area that you need to be in, but they'll take people working for them. They have a budget, and they can pay you, and they will pay you. But they're They're going to save trillions of dollars when they're done. They're in the billion mark right now. Now, they've been doing this since January, February, March, April, May, June. They've done it for 6 months. And the person that used to be at the helm was Elon Musk, who didn't quit. He had to give up his position because it was only for a 130-day position. And it was up on May 31st. So he left on a Friday before May 31st. But he did a remarkable job. Yes, his tactics are probably not the norm. But anybody that has invented a reusable rocket that can go up to outer space and come back and be reused again, or has an all-electric car that can run on electricity, or a satellite, a spy satellite that's so sophisticated, a lot of the countries have as their primary site, like Ukraine, to watch the Russians, is an amazing person. He has a little boy. He's trying to grow up. He is, a brilliant thinker. So anyway, I think the Doge will straighten out CPS. CPS is really, there's a lot of things you can do to help by calling in, talking to your congressman, talking to your state representative, talk to your governor, talk to your mayor, talk to a lot of people. The more people you talk to, the more news you make. Talk to ABC News, NBC, CPS. I'm only saying those because those are the major ones. Then you got CNN News, Fox News. You got some other news out there. All of them should be alerted of your matter, because the more people you say, the better off you'll be. I think that you do. You should make rallies and attend rallies. There was a rally 2 years ago in Sacramento that protested CPS. There's a very sad mother who's called Yummy Money, Yummy Mother. There's another mother in New York that was on vacation with her 3 young children who weren't in school at the time because they were too young, but they were trying to enjoy Canada. And Canada, somehow, they were staying at a shelter instead of at a hotel because they found it more affordable. Now, I guess the signal came out that they're at the shelter because they were homeless. They were not homeless. They have a home in New York. But apparently family members decided to take it on their own and call into Canada and complain. They went ahead and directed the children to be placed in family hands in Florida. And the mother is trying to decide whether she should get the CPS in Florida involved or not. The people that have jurisdiction is Canada, but they're American citizens. She says that she's gone to the embassy in Canada and got nowhere. I told her to go to the embassy in New York or even go to Washington, D.C. or try Doge. She's trying to do all resources to get her children back. It's wrong what they're doing. So I'm in here to spread the word to help you all. Now, it's over 11 o'clock, so I do need to go. I want to thank all of you for listening to me and the advice that you've given. Thank you, Christina Reynosa. I look forward to it. Okay. All right. I'm glad, Christina, they did that. That is so good. See, Doge does work. So thank you, Christina, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you, Cassandra, who is Tony the Tiger from Ostenago, New York. Good luck with your counseling today. Cindy Griever, it was nice to meet you, and thank you for your emojis, but I don't know where you're at. I have no idea. I hope you'll come again. You're part of my family now. All of you are invited to my Tonight Show. With that being said, I want you to still keep fighting for your children. Don't give up. Hang in there. I have all the help you can ask me. All you have to do is see me twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 live streams. So God bless you all, and you'll listen to a message from my attorney, Vincent W. Davis. Please listen to it carefully. And it's good day to you, and I'll see you.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the
last ones left. Put your faith in